What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So look, this is going to be part 2 of this video that I'm doing because I had a lot to say and I'm about to close it, but I wanted to just get this out, okay? Look, y'all, I ended that last video where I'm pretty much I'm looking at all of these allegations and excuses that people make up and how people cling to certain people and they feel comfortable with them doing nothing. Like, you know, we're talking about, look, you're gonna have to watch the first part of this video to really get the full gist of what happened before I got to this point. All right. Look, what you guys got to understand and what you really need to think about is this. There's certain groups of people, when they make certain content, they make their content, it's not for us. It's for their minions. Just like when I make content, my content is for anybody who has intelligence to grasp and understand what I'm saying. And even if they disagree, fine, but be respectful about it. But at the same time, what are you disagreeing with in terms of fact and logic? Now, I'm not talking about because you make a mistake and say something. Like, an example, when I made a video and I was talking about Canelo Alvarez, how he went up to 175 to fight what's his name, Kovalev, but he skipped right past 168, right? Not that he had to stop there, to fight whoever he wanted to fight, but he went to 175. He beats Kovalev. My point was, Canelo said he didn't go up there to stay there. That he basically feels more comfortable going back down to 154, 160. But then, when Benavidez was stripped, now all of a sudden he had an interest in fighting at 168. That's what I was, okay, but I didn't say that. And the fact that he's franchise champion, that gives him immunity to go back and forth in whatever weight class he wants. And there was a few people that was just like, nah, I think it's at 168. That was cool. I'm not stressing that. But then you had, oh, you motherfucker, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. You don't know shit about boxing. Motherfucker, please. The fuck out of here. The fuck out of here with that. You understand? All this emotion shit. They take shit so to heart because you made a mistake and said something. Shit, we was talking one fucking day. I said my damn birthday wrong. I know when the fuck my birthday is. When I was talking, boom, I had kind of like a mid-thought and I said one thing and yeah. At the end of the day, even one video, I mean, a couple of times you watch and you realize you're saying something, but you're like in the middle of that thought and you say the wrong thing. Like, but people watching shit, okay, well, he meant to say such and such. Like, but you got some people that's just so fucking miserable that they sit here and they come on social media. Let me tell you something. That guy I was talking about, like I said, y'all gonna have to watch the first part to understand what's going on. This motherfucker, it's 24 hours in a day. This motherfucker spent 18 and a half hours a day on YouTube alone. 18 and a half hours. So do you wonder why when you say anything about one particular fighter, how they lose their shit? They're so emotional. Everybody's a hater. You can say those same exact things about 20 other fighters. They'll agree with everything you say, just not that one. You understand what I'm saying? So when they do this is not people I want on my fucking channel. So if you see a post by a channel that you know is biased, that you know is going to have content that pretty much you already know, like, I know this guy's talking some bullshit because all he does is talk bias about anybody that's not a PBC fighter or, whatever. Those, y'all know who the groups are. Well, what is your interest in going to just watch their content? It's like I said, I never type their names in. It's just certain videos. I might check just to see what's going on. And especially because it's new. Something going on at the time is current. So it's like, okay, but it's always that twist. Like, example, when you see things that says Fight 3 Wilder Fury, it's a go, and you see a picture of Tyson Fury looking like he's stressed out, and all of this shit, that's all just to get you to watch. And then when you watch the video, no, third fight hasn't been guaranteed. Fury's still trying to find an opponent for the December the 5th, right? That's what we would, you know, the latest that we had on that, you know. And so my thing was, well, when the name came up, because like I said, Carlos Takam was one of them, and I forget the other. I'm not familiar with that other guy. I don't even know who the fuck he is. But the point, what I'm saying is, when we heard about that, you know, well, it wasn't, oh, the fight got to get canceled because Deontay, you know, he got his case. No, we all know that we were told that contract expired. And the fact of the matter is, if you really wanted that fight, you would have said all this shit before that. You would have made it known. Look, man, you know we have to have this contract signed by such and such. We need to come to terms. I want this fight. No, you had nothing to say till after the fact. After the fact. And the second they announced that Fury was fighting on the 5th, oh, I'm disappointed. Blah, 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 blah. And all of this, yo, be a man of your word. It's like now you're begging for a fight. But, you know, when you know, in one way, people were saying that they were both building their profile up so they could fight AJ and it'll be a super fight. I don't think Wilder ever wanted that fight with AJ, first of all. Okay, so to me, no, that's bullshit to me. Because AJ bragged about freezing out Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, see, mistake, okay? Let me correct that. Wilder bragged, and his fan channels bragged about freezing AJ out, like, because he got a 5-fight deal. Think about it. 2 with Ortiz and 3 with Fury. So he was basically, I got 5 fights before I even have to see AJ. If I see him, right? So yeah, it would be building both of their profiles. But I don't think Wilder ever wanted that fight in the first place. And that's coming from the heart. Look at his actions. Right? And his fan channels was talking about AJ messed up because AJ's in a bad place. You know, he's unified champion, but who's out there for him to fight? What you mean, who's out there for him to fight? You make it sound like once the 3 of them fight, there's nothing else for them to do but retire. No, there's plenty more fights out there. Now, in terms of high profile, well, the fact is, you got to remember, the majority of the people saying that shit is from America because they're not familiar with a lot of the British fighters or fighters around the world, period. So they feel like if they're not American and then I don't know who you are, then, well, it's a shit fight. No, there's some fighters out there. There's some challenges out there. It's just that the majority of the heavyweight challenges that's worth a shit is not from America. Simple. So that whole thing of I don't need AJ. AJ need me. Now he's begging Tyson Fury to honor his contract. But did he even really want that 3rd fight? Same man who within a 2-week span, well, the truth is, honestly, I haven't even been training. Breakfast in bed, being catered to by his kids and his wife. Remember all that shit? And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, my man decides he's fighting somebody else and, oh, I'm disappointed. I thought you was going to be a man of your word. You wouldn't have been ready by December the 19th. This is all propaganda as far as I'm concerned. Let's make it look like we want to fight. Let's talk shit. Let's try to make it like we're pushing for this 3rd fight. So if it don't happen, it's not my fault. And then go fight some fucking meatball. Now, he claimed he want to fight Andy Ruiz, but you see, my thing is this. I'm not going to sugarcoat what I have to say. I'm not going to sit here and dance on eggshells and, well, you know, it could be this, it could be that. No. Right now, bro, you at a point where you need to show and prove. You need to show. You need to prove. You need to show and prove. Not fucking sit here talking about everybody else is trying to get fights in. We got Crawford and we got Brooke tonight. And you sit up here talking about lawsuit. You can't even focus on your fucking career. So while you talking lawsuit, Fury's planning, he's preparing for a December the 5th fight. And you're sitting up talking about lawsuit, and not even for Glovegate. Not for the fucking so-called egg weight. Huh? Not for the fucking unpadded glove, the loaded glove. No. About a fucking 3rd fight. That's what the lawsuit is about. You the same guy that sued Alexander Povetkin. Remember that. Him and Povetkin. Did they have a fucking fight? No. Povetkin popped twice, right? Dirty. And Wilder tried to sue him, and guess what? Povetkin won that case. But you sued him. Same guy. Same fucking guy. Hey, fight canceled because of this motherfucker, man. I come all the way out here, right. Well, Fury beat your ass, and according to you, he did it by cheating. And You're not going to sue him for that. You're going to sue him because of a third fight. This mediation is bullshit. It's bullshit. And just to show that you're a man of your word, right? That you claim that you're ready, you in fight shape. I would be like, nah, you know what? December 19th is still a go. Well, now it's going to be another excuse for that fight not to happen on December 19th. Because now Callum Smith is fighting Canelo Alvarez. Which, by the way, people, he was supposed to initially fight Caleb Plant. I don't have any details. I've searched high and low. There's no details that I know of as to why the fight was called off. Because they announced it like it was a go. Don't know. If it was a financial thing, if Caleb Plant wasn't ready, I don't know. Because obviously Canelo is. I don't know what happened. Just the fight was off. It's off, and then he's fighting Callum Smith, and that's announced for December the 19th. So it doesn't even have to be on December the 19th. The fact of the matter is, it should be sometime this month, though. But at the same time, there was no build-up to that third fight. So what don't y'all understand? What was the build-up? How the fuck do you promote a fight by being quiet? So this is all an act, and y'all can't see through this bullshit. You're disappointed that he's not honoring the contract for December 19th. Then you go, but yet you just said you haven't even been training. There was no promotion for this fight, no build-up for this fight, none whatsoever. And we're supposed to believe that you really would sit here training your ass off, prepared for the third fight. Nobody really cares about this fucking fight. Somebody said one time, all these motherfuckers saying they don't care about the third fight. Would you rather see him and Fury, or you see him and Fury and somebody else? At this point, let me explain something to you. I don't want to see Wilder versus Fury. I would rather see Pee Wee fucking Herman. Okay? Pee Wee fucking Herman fight motherfucking Tyson Fury than to see him and Wilder for a third fight. There's no intrigue there for me. I don't give a fuck about Glovegate. I don't care about all these conspiracy theories. I don't care about all the drama surrounding it. It's a bullshit. It's a fight that I'm not hyped on. Just like I don't want to fucking see Luis Ortiz versus fucking Wilder 3. You understand what I'm saying? No, I'm not with all these constant rematches. Look, Wilder's fought Berman Stavern twice. He fought Ortiz twice. He fought Fury twice. What the fuck, man? Everything rematch. Like, I'm tired of this shit. No, I'm not intrigued with that shit. I'd rather see Tyson Fury fight Orville fucking Redenbacher. Okay, simple. It's no intrigue there for me. I can understand why Wilder should want that third fight. I can understand why his fans should want that third fight. I'm not one of them. I'm not a fan of anybody's. And no, the fight doesn't intrigue me. So that's probably a good question for people who give a fuck. But it's not a good question for me because no, I don't give a shit about that fight. Simple. So Wilder could have gotten in touch with Oscar Rivas. Or Daniel Dubois. He says verbally he wants Andy Ruiz if he can't get that third fight with Fury. Let's see if that fight actually happens. Because that's a fight I'd be more interested in. Wilder Ruiz, yeah, I'd be interested in that fight. Okay? They're both coming off of a loss. They both have something to prove. They both want a title reign. They want to, be in that spot again to get a title shot. And for all the people that keep saying that Deontay Wilder is going to be hard to get a challenger because it's a risk because he got the right hand and then they may blow the position that they're in, it could be some truth to that. I mean, call out Joseph Parker. Fight a Charles Martin. Somebody. I'm just saying somebody. Instead of sitting back on your ass. Look, Teofimo Lopez said he's acting like a bitch. He's right. I agree with him 110%. All of this bitching and complaining about what happened, and Fury did this, and I'm a victim, man. He scratched my ear, and he put knots on my head, and he did, but yet you're not suing him for that. Come on, man. I'm done I'm done. All that bullshit. And what? And somebody actually told me that Fury, listen at this shit. Somebody on YouTube told me Fury has been known in the past to have mafia ties and that they actually go into the listen. Go into the dressing room of the fighter and have threatened people and let them know Fury better walk out of here tonight with his hand raised or else. Yeah. What is this, the 1940s and 50s, man? Yeah, I guess a little short 5'8" motherfucker named Bugsy Malone is back there with fucking pinstripe suit. Yeah, Shane, you're gonna throw this fight? Shane, we're gonna pay you a visit, Shane. Yeah. The fuck is wrong with y'all, man? Anything to try to make somebody look good. Mob tie. Okay, so who was the fighters that he did this to? Who? And the funny thing is, he's from Britain, right? So, did this happen over there in the UK or did this happen over here in America? Like, see, all of these claims. And I'm like, yeah, this is just what this group of people do. One big ass ball of fuckery. They just make up stupid shit. Like, come on, man. You got all these claims. This is my point. You're all the same. Y'all all have the same mentality. Same mindset. Y'all all have all these claims, but you've yet to prove a goddamn thing about all this. Oh, Fury did this and he did that. And he threatened this guy. And he told this guy this. Okay. And my thing, like I said, man, anytime I sit down to watch a fight, I want to see guys go in there and improve. I want to see guys go in there and it's not a one-sided ass kicking. You know, it's going to be what it's going to be. You know, what I'm saying is you always look at things and you realize certain fighters, they have a certain thing that they do or don't do and that they need to work on. And when you realize a fighter's just not progressing and people are giving this person abilities and skills that they don't have and then make excuses because they know that reality, like realistically, no, what you're saying is not true. No, you can't sit here and tell me. A guy came to me and said, Anthony Joshua is a coward. He's scared to fight Deontay Wilder. And I said, okay. And you said that to say what? No, I was just saying, man, this guy, like, he doesn't want to fight Wilder. And, like, Wilder has been calling him out for a long time. And Wilder is, like the best. He's the champ. And as soon as he said that, I said, you don't even watch boxing, do you? Well, no. Like, you know, I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, like guys talking. I said, okay, so let me ask you something. You're repeating what somebody told you. And you do realize you have footage that you could go out and watch and find out what was going on, right? And you're always going to get he said, she said, but you do realize you're just taking somebody's word. So, okay, I don't know you, right? So what if I told people that you were a psychopath? What if I told people that you like to go into the park and sit and masturbate when little kids are walking around? Yeah, right. That would be fucked up, right? Because I could have people repeating that shit, and every time they see you, oh shit, there goes the masturbator. Hey, buddy, right? Because of some shit I say. Like, you wouldn't like that, right? I'm like, okay, so what I'm saying, think about it. You just said that AJ's scared to fight him. He's a coward, and Deontay's been calling him out, but you just sat here and said you don't even watch boxing, and I knew that because you said that Deontay's the champ, and he's been calling AJ out for years, which is bullshit. See, this is the effect that these people have, okay? I've had subscribers say to me, man, I like you have knowledge of boxing, and you know what? I'm going to check your channel to increase that knowledge and learn. You know, and you should feel appreciative of that and feel proud that, hey, you know, I'm doing my job. And this is just a hobby for me. At the same time, okay, see, you have other people that feel the same way about other channels. But when people are feeding you bias, okay, I like to give examples to people because no matter how simple you make things and no matter how self-exclamatory something is, you always have some jackass that's not even a subscriber come on your channel with a stupid question, a completely ridiculously stupid comment that has nothing to do with what you said. Okay? Let me tell you, when you get groomed into something, right? People say, oh, but that person should know better by now. Yeah, it would seem so. Example, I worked on a job where women wasn't getting along, right? And I told this story already, but I'm just going to reiterate it. The supervisor, okay, is a Spanish supervisor. The girls that he moved were Spanish. What happened was they had the little group. In all honesty, they spent a lot of time, the whole night, they're just talking. Now, I don't give a fuck if you talk till your ears fall off. And mine damn sure are about to fall off when these people start talking a lot of times, right? This group of girls just start, just all night long. But the thing is, they stopped working and just standing while everybody else was busting their ass, right? Well, what did he do? Just to keep the peace, he kept the girls, the two people on one side. Well, it was like 16 of us. So instead of splitting us 8 and 8, okay, what did he do? He have all 12 people on one side and then put the 4 girls on the other side. Now, 2 more girls come from the same country and to work, they were new. But and it's natural that people talk to people that speak their native tongue for that reason alone, just because, okay, they can communicate. But what happens is they've been groomed that anything that they do, it's them. Like if they see somebody else that need help, they won't go over there and help that other person. They only help who's in their circle. And I said to the supervisor, how do you feel like you resolved anything? This is straight segregation, man. Everybody over there, the other 12 people, not one of them is Spanish. They're not Latino at all. Everybody on this side, the 2 women that they had a problem with had left. They hadn't even started. They quit. Like that following week, right? Long gone, but they still continued to keep them on one side. So they've been groomed into feeling like when they come in, it's just them. They don't have to help anybody else, right? They used to speak to us like then when that happened, it was like, no. They'll just kind of turn away when they see you. They don't speak anything. And it's like you pretty much you nurtured that whole we're not getting along with these girls and they have a problem with us. So now because we're not Spanish, maybe they feel like we looking at them funny or maybe they looking at us funny. I don't know. But I've never had an issue with any of them. In fact, like 2 of them was at the vending machine in the break room and they didn't have enough money. Listen, they didn't have enough money to get whatever it was, the milk chocolates or something they was trying to get out of the vending machine, right? And you know how in the vending machine, you can go to the regular store, just say get a bag of M&Ms for, $1.59. In the vending machine, they're like $3, right? So there was a Wendy's around the corner and a Burger King right around the corner. So I went around the corner on break and I bought them some food. They didn't ask for it, but I went and got them some food and drink, came back here. Oh, thank you. They would, very next day, they saw me, didn't even speak. I just, whatever. Didn't take it personal. You understand what I'm saying? But when you start to groom a person to do certain things, it's not as easy as it is for somebody who thinks for themselves that, you know what, that's not right. They know I've done nothing to them, and I know I've done nothing to them. You understand what I mean? But other people are affected. We all can be. Why? Because when work gets heavy and gets backed up and you need the team to step up, they'll see, okay, they need help. They won't come over there. They won't budge. They just stay in their circle. Now, suppose everybody else did that. And I told the supervisor that. What if all the black guys in here just stayed in their circle? What if all the white guys stayed in their circle? Huh? What if those 4 Turkish people over there just stayed in their circle? How are we going to work together? I go to work. I'm polite to everybody that's polite to me. But I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass. You see, and that's what happens. To me, in my opinion, I feel like none of this shit that Deontay is saying came from him. It was initiated by his channels and he went with that shit. And I feel like this brother's trying to convince himself that that's what actually happened. And he's catering to these motherfuckers because he don't want to lose them. He know that that's his core. And that's why finally, when he finally spoke to somebody, he did shows to people from that particular group. All before that, nothing. And he know that that's where his support is coming from. His biased support. Because there's many people that say, man, I like Deontay as a fighter, but damn, man, this is not cool. I've heard many people say, man, I used to like Deontay, man, as a fighter, but man, this guy, I got no respect for him after this shit. And instead of these guys, hey, look, Deontay, we with you, man. We want you to win, right? We want to see you win. But you got to get in there and fight, man. But why would they do that when they're the ones who created all this bullshit? No, and he's fucking piggybacking off of the bullshit that they started. And that's all. That motherfucker ain't ready to fight, man. He's not ready to fight. And if he is, why is he playing fucking games like a big ass kid? I'm ready, but I'm not. No, I'm not ready. Yes, I am. I've lost interest in that fight a long time ago. Like I said, rematches to me need to make sense. Not just because, well, there's nothing else out there. You know what? They had a good rivalry. What are all the rematches for? Why? I can't blame him for the Burmester Vern shit. Burmester Vern is the person he got the title from. So I can understand that fight. I never understood how the fuck Burmester Vern became mandatory. I don't understand how the fuck Dominic Brazil became mandatory. But hey, 2 fights with him, 2 fights with Ortiz, 2 fights with Fury, and they're trying to get a third one, and it's like, damn. So all this time, no. The only person AJ fought twice so far has been Ruiz, because he lost his title and he got his title back. Now, am I big to see Ruiz versus AJ 3? No. There's no reason. Because this guy was in the biggest fight of his life and he made excuses about, oh, well, you know what? I should have been training. I should have listened to my father, and I was partying. And yeah. You got your ass kicked. How about that one? That's all. So at the end of the day, no. Andy Ruiz get in there and start whooping some ass and win, keep winning. AJ managed to keep winning. Yeah, okay, whatever. If they cross paths again after that, okay, whatever. But as for that, for what? Just to have a rematch, just to have one? For what? I've never been big on rematches. Like I said, they have to make sense to me, man. Like, what's the purpose of this rematch? I could understand Ray Leonard versus Duran 1 and 2. Ray Leonard versus Duran 3, I didn't understand that shit. I'm like, why? For what? For what? And especially for Duran, because Duran was completely, like, his body looked like melted fucking ice cream in that third fight. I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is nothing. And Ray Leonard got booed up out the building because he couldn't take out Duran. He couldn't do, the fight was like, what, like, okay. And I started looking at both of them like, yeah, Ray Leonard slipping too, because look at Duran. He was slow. It wasn't the same Duran, but at the same time, it wasn't the same Ray Leonard either. But Ray had a lot more left in the tank than Duran, but he just couldn't finish him off. No need for that third rematch, for that third fight. Why? And through boxing history, you have a lot of fighters. Rematch. It's like, come on, at some point, come on, man. There's challenges that's out there. But this situation right here, nobody's rectifying this shit. They're making excuses. And that's another reason why I think him and Andy Ruiz would be a perfect fucking fight. Because they both had excuses. Now, in terms of the amount of excuses, yeah, Deontay got Andy Ruiz beat by far in excuses, so he got him in that department. But they both have something to prove. They're both PBC fighters, so that fight should be easy to make, to be honest with you. That fight should be easy to make. Now, if Deontay really wants that fight, and Ruiz really wants that fight, then what's the problem? Because Fury already is fighting on the 5th. So if this man's going to sit around here pushing for this fight, knowing damn well it's not going to happen on the 19th, well, what are you going to do in the meantime? What are you going to do in the meantime? Because Povetkin, think about this, Povetkin and Dillian White, after their fight, now, whoever is mandatory. Well, Povetkin is mandatory now. He's taking Dylan White's spot. Now the rematch, we know whoever wins is mandatory. Okay? So, what happens with Deontay Wilder? You got to understand the contract expired. So all this, they're going to do mediation. And this is all just news, man. How in the fuck is the judge going to overturn that decision when the contract has expired? Now, my thing is, Deontay has everything to prove. People like, but Fury got to prove he did it fair. No bullshit. All these fucking fanboy channels making up this stupid ass shit. No, Wilder has to prove that he can beat Fury. Fuck all that fans. No. He has to prove he can beat Fury because he and nobody else hasn't proved a goddamn thing about any goddamn cheating. All the floppy glove and all that shit and but nobody can tell you what was well, it was said. You're right. Where's the proof? So if you really want that fight and you really believe that this guy did all that shit, that means you're gonna go in there and knock Fury out. Right? I don't understand why that energy wasn't there before that December 5th announcement. So look, y'all. I'm about to bring this video to an end. And like I've said before, man, people believe in a lot of different things, man. These guys are the equivalent of people that believe in Bigfoot that want to argue with you. Instead of saying, hey, it's possible Bigfoot could be real, right? But instead, they say, no, I know he's real. Okay, you know he's real. Have you seen him? Well, no, but I've heard stories. Okay, end of conversation right there. Simple. When you're talking to a know-it-all, reason, logic, and truth does not resonate in that little fucking lump that they call a brain. No, everything with them is, but you never know. But it could be. Okay. Well, you live like that, and you go by, you never know, but it could be, but what if? I don't live like that. In reality, for us to enjoy these fights and the build up to these fights, the focus needs to be boxing. Well, when you have all this kind of little outside shit going on, this is not a build up to a fight for me. This is just a lot of nonsensical bullshit that shouldn't even be going down. But when people support this, well, you're going to get what we have right now. So for everybody that's telling you what's going to happen, and yeah, right, y'all know before the fucking judge even tell you what's going to happen, huh? And all these claims that these people are making, they've been wrong every time so far. Wilder's going to do this. Well, he's going to do that, and this is going to happen. Nope. And even, let's just say, for example, now, first off, it wouldn't be an overturned decision. It would be a renewed contract. That's what it would be. Because the shit